All right, we had a brutal Bitcoin dump. Now we've got to understand what caused this dump. And then we've got to look at this and say, is this market going to recover? Or is this dump going to continue? I'm going to dig up all the data for you. I'm going to show you whether this market's going to recover or whether we're going to get another leg down before we actually get a recovery. It's going to be a big show, and there's a lot to dig into when it comes to this dump because it was quite brutal. I don't know if you saw it. So listen, get out of bed. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch, go. Get up, and then they got go. Time to wake up, bitch, get up. Get up, get up.
Wakey, rise and shine. We've got a lot to talk about today. We saw a huge Bitcoin dump today. It wasn't that bad in terms of the amount that it came down, because as you can see, we started off here at, let's look where we started off just before this dump. We started off at 30,285. We went all the way down to, let's go over here and we can see exactly what the levels were, 29,021. So we didn't actually break the 29,000 level. The dip itself wasn't that scary. What was scary is the speed at which it happened. And that's what we're going to dig into today, because I'm going to show you why it happened so quickly. And then I'm going to show you why I think that maybe this is just a ordinary correction and what I think is still a very strong upward trend. So we're going to look at the reasons. We're going to look at all the clues that this market has given us to show us whether this is a correction or whether this is a trend reversal. So listen, if you're new to the channel, welcome. If you are a subscriber, if you're not already a subscriber, subscribe. We are one of the fastest growing communities, even in this crazy market. And like this content, just help us get distribution out there. You can see I'm drinking my protein shakes. Part of the get the six-pack thing that we're doing at the moment. I don't know who does a six-pack in winter. All right, let's get the show on the road. Greenies Lounge, if you hear, say present. The Erons, if you hear, say present. Kev, why are you calling me rantard, bro? I see George was in the stream. The real George was in the stream. There's a guy here, his name is George. Gilly Boy says, I'm looking good today. Nice shirt, thank you. Ferdy, present. Josh, present. Jimmy, present. Fred. Fred. Yo. Present. Yes, yeah. All right, let's do this. Let's get into the fun. Let's get into the alpha. Let's get into the dump. So let's look at what we had. We had this aggressive pullback. Interesting to see when you look at these charts. There are a whole lot of different clues. So the first thing is Bitcoin went from 30,285 all the way down to 29,000. We had ETH going right down here from $2,100, coming down, almost touching this trend line. So with ETH, we're watching this trend line, and coincidentally, if you look at this trend line, it was from the build up to Shanghai. So you've got this trend line from the build up to Shanghai, and now you've got ETH coming back towards this trend line. The next chart, which I think is super important to look at, is the ETH BTC chart. And you can see that ETH BTC chart almost touched the trend line and started coming straight back down. In fact, my trend lines aren't perfect, but something like that. So you can see the ETH BTC chart also came down off a particular level, and the people that are calling for not having a Bitcoin season, you know who I'm talking about. There are a whole host of people that are not excited about alt season. Well, they're looking at this chart, and what they're saying is, you see, guys, we told you that as soon as you get to this trend line, you're going to come down. And you know what? If you look at the charts, they're actually right. We've got to get over that trend line. And this time we were actually rejected. The one good thing about this dump that I noticed is that even though we dumped hard, look at the Bitcoin dominance. look where the Bitcoin dominance is. The Bitcoin dominance is still 47.5%. Now, it came down. It came from a level. Remember, Bitcoin dominance was at about 49%. So let's just get away from the 1 hour. And you can see Bitcoin dominance when this run started was at 49%. And now we've had this correction, and now we're coming straight back up to 47.5%. So interesting that we're going to now have to watch. We're going to have to watch where this Bitcoin dominance goes to from here. Let's quickly take one look at the bubbles just to see what happened. And actually, when we look at the bubbles today, we shouldn't look at the bubbles like this. So you can see on the bubbles, all the tokens had a bad day. The ones that had the worst day were the ones that were the highest leverage. And I'll show you that in a second, which is a clue as to what happened to this market. What I looked at, though, which was for me more important, was to go back onto the 1 hour chart. And if you look on the 1 hour chart, what you can see on that 1 hour chart is you can see which tokens are the ones that are bouncing back the strongest. So if you look at the daily chart, you can see which ones were the ones that were the most leveraged. So we know there was a lot of leverage on Arbitrum. People were aping into Arbitrum on leverage. Then you had Aptos, people aping in on leverage. You had Conflux, people aping in on leverage. But on the 1 hour chart, let's see who's bouncing back the quickest. So Arbitrum is starting to bounce back. 𝗕𝗍𝗍 is bouncing back. I think Injective would be on this page. Casper bouncing back. I saw Injective. We could just look at Injective protocol, which is one that we have really been following here. It was back at about $9.11, now back at around $9, at around $8.93. So let's look at what happened. This is the important part, because if you understand, if you analyze what actually happened, it makes you smarter than everybody else. That's what it is. So we were here on the hourly at 30,285, and within a matter of about an hour, or in fact, if you started here at about 30,000, within a matter of about 12 minutes, we dropped to 29,000. Now, when you see something like that happening, what you know is that that is a series of liquidations. That is what happens when people start getting liquidated. And one liquidation causes the position to be sold off, and that causes a second liquidation, and that causes a third liquidation, and that causes a fourth liquidation. It's a cascade of liquidations. And that's actually exactly what we saw. So if you look at the data, what the data is showing you is that we had $236 million of liquidations. And in this case, these were all the people that are long. So it's not like we celebrate. Usually we celebrate when we get the liquidations because we think it's the people that are going short that are getting liquidated. This time it wasn't that. This time it was actually the longs getting liquidated. Why? Because the market became overheated. People were taking out way too much leverage. And what you can see is that leverage was flushed out in a matter of a couple of minutes. This was the biggest leverage liquidation. What an ugly advertisement. Let's close it. Okay. This was the biggest leverage liquidation since the 9th of March, where we had a bigger leverage liquidation. You'll remember that day. We were all here. We were watching together. And before that, we had another liquidation in February. So it's almost like one big liquidation in Feb, one big liquidation in March. And now we've had one of the big liquidations in April. Before this liquidation, I was watching this, and I want to show you this. I want to show you something here. So this was what the GMX dashboard looked like for Ethereum. Look at the red ones are the shorts, the green ones are the longs. Just look at the average leverage on longs. It means that people were getting super ahead of themselves. The market was getting super overheated. You can see that the leverage was the green. As the green increases, it means that people are getting too bullish, too swept away. I see Arena's back. I see Arena's back in the chat. Banter and Arena's here. Now all I need is Banter, Joanne, and I got my full force here. So you can see that people were aping into leverage. And when people ape into leverage, then naturally what happens is the leverage gets flushed out. And the clue for us was that the leverage got flushed out so quickly. Generally, when you see a candle like that in the 1 hour, either what you're looking for is news, and today there was zero news. I mean, if you were watching, the first thing we did was we were actually on our Banter research call when this started to happen. And we were live and we saw the dip. And we started saying, well, what's going on? And we started checking the Hong Kong markets. We started checking the China markets. We started checking where were these trades coming from. And what we realized was that this was just an unwind of leverage. When you see an unwind of leverage, then what you want to do is you want to check your thesis against news. Again, there was no news. And so we know that this is just a unwind of frothy leverage positions in the market. You can see when you look at this chart, $400 million of leverage were taken. Just look at that. So this is the open interest, and look what happens to the open interest. Just drops, bang. That is as the price came down, we wiped out the leverage trades. That's pretty much all it is. All that happened here was the leverage was wiped out. People got too greedy. The fear and greed index was at greed 65, 66, 63. Now, when this gets updated, and it will get updated in 10 hours, 28 minutes, and 2 seconds, when it does get updated, I reckon this fear and greed index is going to 50, maybe 48. Because what we've done is we've taken a market which was frothy, and we're now getting the leverage out, and now we can continue to go up. And that's a very, very, very normal cycle, specifically in a bull market. What you're looking for in a bull market is you're looking to see how aggressive the dips are, but more importantly, you're looking to see how quickly the recoveries happen. And also what you're looking for is you're looking to see whether people run out of altcoins into Bitcoin. But you can't see, if you look here, if you look at the dominance, let me quickly get the dominance here. You can see I've been degenerating alts, which is what we do while we're not live. So the dominance, 47.6. If people were fearing a big something, we would have seen the dominance go back to 49 where it was before, but that didn't happen. All this was a flash out of leverage. Now the question is this leverage flash out finished? In order to find out if the leverage is finished, we've got to look at three things. The first thing that you want to look at is you want to look at the open interest. So I showed you the open interest charts, and what you can see, in fact, I think I might even have a better chart here from Joe the Irishman. You can see that the open interest was flashed out, and then people started to degen again. So you see that the open interest flashed out, and then bang, people actually start degening again, which means that the mood is rather bullish. That's the first thing that you look at. Second thing that I look at is I look at the GMX dashboard. Now the GMX dashboard shows us the ratio of longs versus the ratio of shorts. So here you can see that there is still a very high long versus short position. So this one's telling me to be wary. This metric itself is saying there could be one more flush out of the leverage. If you are thinking of aping into the market right now, I'd say to you, maybe a good idea, but just keep your eye on this position. I think that this market is still a bit too bullish. This indicator is telling me that even though leverage was flushed out, we still have a little bit of froth in the market. And so usually when there's a little bit of froth in the market, generally what happens is the froth gets flushed out again. So keep your eyes on that, because we could get one more leg down just to flush out the remainder of the froth that's in this market. And I'll show you some of that. Don Crypto, becoming one of my favorite crypto accounts actually. He says, let me go back. He says the dump was well needed to flush out the over-leveraged long apes on Bitcoin, ETH, and alts. Funding rates have now seemed to reset already. Good to take note. Let's look at the funding rates. By the way, you can get this on coinglass.com/funding rates. Now, what you're looking to see here is whether the funding rates are positive or negative. Okay, now negative means that people are short, positive means that people are long, and neutral means that people are neither long nor short. What you can see is, in general, there's not very high funding rates here. In general, there's a mix of long, shorts, and neutrals, which means that the market is not very, very, very overheated now. So it looks like some of the leverage has been flashed out. So this indicator is telling me that some of the leverage has been flashed out. Net, where are we? Very simple. Healthy bull market correction. Healthy bull market correction. You flush out the leverage, you flush out the leverage, you scare them off a bit, and you carry on going back up slowly, and it is very, 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 very normal. In fact, look at this. I saw this over here. There it is. So Andrew Klang says the market doesn't go up in a straight line. It would be best to break free of the shackles of the underwater leverage longs before sprinting towards the next high. Notice how in all markets, it's up, flush out the leverage. Up, flush out the leverage. Get the leverage back, flush the leverage back out. That's what a market cycle is, and it's pretty normal. Here it is again. You can see when we broke out of the 2019 and 2015 bear markets, Bitcoin continues to go up, but there's always a few bumps and bruises along the way. The bumps and bruises are just flushing out leverage. So here we go. You can see it October 15. Look at that. It's definitely a bull market, but every time the market gets overheated, we flush out the leverage. Market gets overheated, flush out the leverage. And we carry on doing exactly the same thing. And you can see the same thing actually happened in the 2019 sprint up. Up, flush out the leverage, up, flush out the leverage, up, flush out the leverage. We had this correction over here, and then we continued to go up. So normal corrections in a bull market. We're seeing them again here. So you look at from January, February, March, just keep flushing out all the froth into the market. What you're looking to see is how quickly they recover, and that's your clue. Your clue is you want to know which tokens you should be buying. You got to look at how quickly are they recovering from the unwinding. How bullish is the community really? Now, a couple of the ones that we saw that were really bullish, as I said to you, was Injective. So Injective, I know some people in our office were trying to be short because they said it had run up too fast, too quickly. And what they did was they ran away with their tail between their legs, because this thing is now higher than it was yesterday, even though the rest of the market has actually come down. Another one of these crazy bounce back tokens, let's call it that, is the meme community. Okay, so you'll know, we've been talking about PEPE, the meme coin, the PEPE. Is it PEPE or PEPE or what's the word? PEPE. PEPE. Yeah, someone said I've been pronouncing it wrong. I haven't been pronouncing it wrong. I'm drinking protein shakes because apparently I'm on a mission to get a six-pack. So the PEPE community, these guys aren't being held back. This is an extreme phenomenon. You remember that yesterday when we were on the show, I think there were 4,000 holders or 8,000 holders. And I've been watching how fast the holders of PEPE have spread. Now, remember, this token has zero utility. It's just a meme coin. It's just a community coin. But this coin is now at $110 million market cap. It was at one point about 150 or $160 million market cap. And you see it's gone absolutely parabolic. So this is another one of these recover fast sentiment coins. Right now, we are seeing that the meme community is saying, look, you guys want to go back to levels in your coins where you were 3, 4, 5 days ago or 6 days ago. We're not doing that. We're going back to like 1 day ago, not even. Yesterday, when we were on the show, PEPE was at 10 cents. You would still be 2.5 times your money, and you probably would have still made 5x on your money. So the net about these meme coins is you can hate them as much as you want. But the reality is that these meme coins in a bull market are the most powerful things to change people's lives. Because you can put a very small amount of money into a meme coin, very small. You can put $1,000 into a meme coin. And if you catch that meme coin at the right part of it, well, you can make a lot of money. There's no doubt that most of them are going to die. But remember that some of these meme coins are going to actually survive, like Doge and Shiba and Floki and all those. They're still around, and they've made more millionaires certainly than Gary Gensler's made. That's for sure. We'll talk about Gary Gensler in a second, because I think he was absolutely destroyed yesterday. And I wasn't going to talk about it, but I think we have to we need to kick him while he's down. You know, like we got to make the embarrassing clips of him go much more viral, because we have to kick him while he's down. We have to kick him while he's down. So as I was saying to you, what you want to look at is you want to see the sentiment in the market. Very interestingly, I was watching this poll over here. So this poll was done by Duo9. He says he started this poll this morning before the dump happened. So when this poll started, Bitcoin was at $30,000, $30,200. And he started asking, he said, if you had $10,000, what would you buy right now? Would you buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoin, blue chip, or meme coin? Interestingly, until the market dump, meme coin was very much in the lead. As you can see, I voted for meme coin. Meme coin was very, very, very much in the lead. Then the market started to dump and people started to reevaluate their choices. Okay, they were like, whoa, whoa, whoa. If the market's going to dump, I don't really want to be in meme coins. But half an hour ago, everybody wanted to be in meme coins. And that just shows you that what this market correction does is it just flushes out excess. It flushes out the greedy, gluttonous degens who want to come and make life-changing money in 3 days and take excessive leverage on 10x leverage with no stop loss. The market flushes those people out. Didn't manage to flush me out because I'm still way long and also because I cut some of my positions yesterday. Anyway, so that's what happens. I wanted to just show you how the mentality changes from when the market's heated to when the market drops by $1,000 and all of a sudden people are like, whoa, 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 we might not want to be in meme coins. But the meme coin communities are very strong. The meme coin communities, they're staying in. PEPE is still trading at $26.10. As I said to you, there are a lot of haters here, but this thing did get 21,000 holders or 22,000 holders in less than 4 days. Also, I want to show you this. People are saying that if you would have put just $10,000 into PEPE 5 days ago, that would be worth $2 million. And if you would have put $1,000 when it started, you would have had $10 million or something along those lines. So for me, specifically in a bull market, I'm not saying to, I'm a big fundamentals guy. I'm always about fundamentals. I don't really buy things I don't understand. But one thing I have started to understand, I've started to understand the power of a meme in a bull market. Meme is in a bull market is more powerful than technology in a bull market. Because as you can see, people go there to try and get rich quick. That's what happens. And if you can catch the meme early, not only will you have fun, not only can you be part of an amazing community, but you could actually make some real life-changing money. And now there's a new meme coin, which everybody is watching. You've all seen it. It's called the 𝗕𝗏𝗿𝗄. The whole office here is obsessed with the 𝗕𝗏𝗿𝗄. 𝗕𝗏𝗍 hasn't done any work all day today. All he's done is he's followed the listing on 𝗕𝗏𝗿𝗄. 𝗕𝗏𝗍 bought 𝗕𝗏𝗿𝗄 at a market cap of $1.5 million. Now 𝗕𝗏𝗍 has doubled his money. I'm not telling you to buy it. I'm just telling you, again, it's another meme. If you want to be a meme trader, you should follow the smart meme accounts. And we found this here at Look On Chain. So Look On Chain showed us the addresses. So just follow the logic here, because memes are about a community. It's about, they jump from, let me just make sure I get all these names right, but they jump from PEPE to 𝗬𝗏𝗏𝗏 to they just keep jumping to 𝗪𝗏𝗪𝗏𝗏s to maybe now they're going to jump into 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏. I'm not telling you to jump into 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏. I'm not saying that. Be careful. But you got to follow the smart money, and Look On Chain actually did an amazing job. What they said is you might be interested in these 4 smart monies. They bought PEPE and 𝗕𝗏𝗏𝗏 earlier and have achieved 10x plus gains so far. Follow these addresses to see what meme coins they'll be buying next. And they actually publish the addresses over here. So go there, follow the addresses, do what the addresses do, okay? And then, do what the addresses do. And then, but again, you do this with $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000. Like, it's got to be a very small part of your portfolio. And then when you make money in a meme coin, sell it and get the hell out. Don't hold it. You don't get married to a meme coin. You cannot get married to a dog. You can't get married to a frog either. You can't do that. You cannot do shit like that. So that is what you want to be doing. That's what you want to be doing. Remember also, if you're trading memes, there's going to be a lot of haters because people just don't want to accept that some people work very hard doing research to find their best coins with the best fundamentals, analyzing daily active addresses and analyzing transaction volume and analyzing total value locked. And then other people just put like $1,000 in a meme coin and their portfolio explodes. Now, a lot of people, if you do that, a lot of people will hate you. Because if you put $1,000 into a meme coin and you make 1,000x and you make $1 million, people are going to hate you. The people are going to hate you are the people that worked the hardest, right? So I think I wonder if I can see, if I've got this tweet. I don't have a tweet, but there was a tweet that actually explained this so nicely. But what you can see is you can see that people are starting to hate. And they're right, like 99% of memes do this. Accounts load up, then a handful starts shilling, then they have FOMO with a don't fade, the next big doge going to 100x, and then it dies. And true, it can happen. That's why you do it with a very small part of your portfolio, and you be calculated on it. People are saying that, you see, again, people are looking for reasons to get you out of meme coins. The thing about meme coins is that they live and die with attention. No one is buying as a long-term investment. Everyone is buying it to get real quick. It's like pump and dump schemes. That's what these guys are saying. So I'm not telling you to trade meme coins. I'm telling you that if you're going to trade meme coins, put a very small part of your portfolio. It's a lot of fun, very cool communities. And in bull markets, it does actually help you make life-changing money. I think specifically when it comes to our frog PEPE. Let's talk about our frog PEPE. Don't marry it. This is not a frog that if you kiss it becomes a princess. It doesn't work like that with PEPE. Okay, so I did read this, and he says, good to remember when 24-hour trading volume exceeds market cap, time to be looking for an exit. So that's a good indicator for you. So when the 24-hour volume actually exceeds the market cap of the token, in this case, the market cap of the token is 111 million, and the 24-hour trading volume is 112 million. That's kind of like, listen, that's peak hype. That's when that happens, you're like, wow. This is peak hype. It's time for me to get out. I've got to get out of here. So if I were in PEPE now, and to be honest, I'm not. I tried to get an entry, but I was on the show with you guys yesterday, and I told my traders to get this. I tell my traders before the show, buy PEPE. I want to buy PEPE. While I'm on the show, they send me a message saying, we can't buy this thing. It's a meme coin. I'm like, I know it's a meme coin. That's why I told you to buy it. And they didn't buy it. Anyway, I rubbed their nose in it the whole night. Every time it went up like 1 cent, I kept sending them a screenshot saying, you guys ripped me off. Because of you, I'm going to be poor. Because of you, my kids aren't going to go to school. They're going to go to a public school, not a private school. So, yeah, I mean, that could be the difference between your kids going to a public school or going to a private school. True. Let me know if you invest in meme coins. Someone says, I want to buy Wojak. Where can you buy PEPE? You can buy it on Huobi, OKX, Uniswap. Where else? Someone says, just rather go on Uniswap. Okay, go on Uniswap then. Just make sure you get the right contract. Remember, meme coins can mean the difference between putting a small amount of money and making life-changing money and changing your whole life or not. But it's a very small amount of money. You don't become a meme coin investor. I did see there was one ape, and I don't know if I've got the transactions here, but there was one guy buying in clips of 25 ETH clips of PEPE. Now look, he could be right. PEPE could be the next Doge. Who knows? But the probabilities are very, very, very small. Anyway, one person who doesn't want you to make money using meme coins, in fact, doesn't want you to make money at all. He doesn't want you to be financially free at all, is James. James doesn't want you to be financially free. That's why he regularly messes up the stream. No, I'm kidding. It's not James. I'm not allowed to knock James anymore. It's not his fault. There's one person, though, who doesn't want you to be financially free, who doesn't want your kids to go to a private school. His name is Gary Gensler. And yesterday, he had a Senate committee hearing. And he was, if I tell you destroyed, okay, he was destroyed worse than anything that I've seen in my adult life. Okay, the only other time I've seen someone destroyed like that was once with a freckled red-headed stepchild. Okay, that was the last time I saw someone destroyed as badly as this. Okay, listen to this. Listen to what happened.
thank you, Chair Gensler.
So this is Chair McHenry. He took Gary Gensler on about Ethereum being a commodity or a security. Listen.
Myself for 5 minutes. Ether is one of the most popular digital assets and powers the Ethereum blockchain. Back in 2018, then SEC Corporation Finance Director Bill Hinman stated that he believed Ether was not a security. Last month, CFTC Chair Benham expressed his view that Ether is a commodity. The State Attorney General of New York asserted in a court filing last month that Ether is a security. Clearly, an asset cannot be both a commodity and a security. Do you agree?
Actually, all securities
it
are
gets
commodity
much
under
more
the
embarrassing.
Commodity Exchange Act. It's that we are excluded commodities. But I would agree that a security cannot be also an excluded commodity and an included commodity. I'm sorry, Chair, just to talk about the Commodity Exchange Act more precisely.
Okay, so do you recognize, how would you categorize Ether then?
Look, I think that the general sweep of what Congress did, not just in the 30s, but as amended.
I'm asking you,
years,
sitting in your chair now, to make an assessment under the laws as
It's
exist.
about to get heated.
Is Ether a commodity or a security?
Without speaking to any one.
I know you've
token,
repeatedly
it's
said
a
you're not
matter
going to
of
speak to
facts.
one, except you've spoken to one, Bitcoin. So I'm asking you to speak to a second one, the second largest market cap here.
And speaking to the tokens, there's 10 to 12,000. If there's a group of entrepreneurs in the
I'm asking
middle
about
that
one.
the public is anticipating a profit based on
Chair
the-
McHenry
I'm
is
asking
not
you a
having any
specific
of this
question,
shit.
Chair Gensler. I said this in private. This should be no shock to you. I'm asking this question. Is Ether a commodity or a security?
And again, it depends on the facts and the law, and if there's a group of individuals.
I'm asking you about the
in
facts and the
middle.
law sitting in your seat and the judgment you are making.
And so, Mr. Chair, I think you would not want me to prejudge because I'm also.
But you have
aware-
prejudged on this. You've taken 50 enforcement actions. We're finding out as we go, as you file suit, as people get Wells notices on what is a security in your view, in your agency's view. I'm asking you a very simple question about the second largest digital asset. What is your view?
And my view is if there's a group of individuals in the middle that the public is
All
anticipating.
right, so let me just ask a second question then. Do you think it serves the market for an object to be viewed by the commodities regulator as a commodity and the securities regulator to be viewed as a security? Do you think
right.
that provides
He's right.
Safety and soundness for the product? Do you think it provides consumer protection? Do you think it serves the value of innovation? I think no should be a very simple answer for you here.
I think
That uncertainty is bad, is it not?
And I think that Congress has said that there's one agency, the Securities and Exchange Commission, under this committee.
And you won't answer my question, and you're the head of that agency. So give me a...
Ooh.
I'm answering it in the generic because you would not want me to speak about any one set of facts and circumstance.
Okay, so, but you've already spoken. Have you said anything about Bitcoin?
He won't let him out.
My predecessors and the agency itself has spoken to them.
Okay, but you're not willing to do the same about Ether. Okay, so let me just step back. There's a lack of clarity here in the marketplace. Can you at least agree to that?
I think that the clarity is there. The law is clear.
All
that
right.
There's a group
So
of individuals
let me
who
be explicit about this. The market doesn't see it. Your regulatory actions and the CFTC's regulatory actions say that there's a great deal of uncertainty here. It is the intention of this committee to fix that uncertainty and actually provide a sound legal basis for this.
Wow, okay, so that's the first part. Okay, then, listen to this.
A permanent inspector general yesterday. A little late coming, in my opinion, but in late February, I'm going to jump right in.
So the senators sent him a letter about FTX, and they wanted to get information from him. Now listen to what he said.
February, Chairman McHenry, Senator Scott, and I sent you a request for documents and information on your climate disclosure rule.
Actually, no, climate disclosure,
The
sorry.
fact is, other than a couple of emails that were private, you have produced only publicly available documents in response to that request. And I'm going to highlight a couple of those. You sent us a copy of the public comment file on the rule. You sent us a copy of the rule itself, twice. You sent a copy of your testimony the last time you appeared before this committee. You sent us a copy of your public calendar. You sent us copies of public speeches, testimony, and press releases from you and your fellow commissioners. You sent us a copy of a public FSOC report from 2021. And the most interesting and frankly dumbest example of this that we received to date is a copy of a letter that myself and Chairman McHenry sent you congratulating you as being confirmed as chair in 2021. I have that one in my file already. So frankly, it's insufficient and frankly unacceptable what has been going on. I think it's an embarrassment to you and to your team that you sent me a copy of the letter I sent you and then tried to call that responsive.
You see,
that
the problem
doesn't
is
really make a whole lot of sense.
Gary Gensler doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a, he just doesn't give a shit. Senators ask him for information and he gives them back files of public information and he sends them a letter which they send him back as information. He's like, he thinks he's invincible. He's putting up the middle finger and saying, well, I don't have to respond. He did the same thing around FTX, which I want to show you guys. Let me see if I can find it quickly. Hold on a second. I've got so many. Here we go. So let me show you this one.
Speaking of crypto, commingling of funds, while we're on that subject, prior to the collapse of FTX, did you have any concerns with the company or question if they were breaking any securities laws or harming investors?
I think, if I might, I have had, since I've been in this job, a general concern about the field and as expressed here today about the non-compliance of this commingling of these various functions, and that they should come into compliance by separating exchange from broker-dealer from what you might call a hedge fund function and other functions.
So with those concerns, did you direct your staff to look into FTX?
I want to stay at a little bit higher level, but I directed the staff to look into the crypto intermediaries and a wide range of crypto intermediaries. Yes, sir.
Okay, so what do they find?
Well, we filed an action late last year, a number of actions, which are public actions with regard to Sam Bankman-Fried and FTX that are on our website. But what we found in those actions, as they show, is we allege a number of violations of the securities laws.
Yeah, when did you think FTX was problematic? At what point?
Well, again, we filed these actions in December.
After the fact.
Filed follow-up actions in January because it takes time to develop an investigative file, and we follow the facts and the law where they come. But I've given speeches and I've been clear with many members of this industry that right now they need to come into compliance. We have one goal, is to bring them into compliance and to stop commingling all these functions, stop using customer funds as if they're their own. It's like somebody who's got their hand in the cash register because they say, I want to take some money out of the cash register for the weekend. I'll put it back later. And that's just not proper.
How long after you met with FTX and investigated, and did you notify the public and investors that there was an issue?
As we've chatted earlier today,
Let me jump to a couple of other ones because there's a couple of much better ones over here. So this is listen to this. This is
make it clear
Davidson.
that we need to restructure. Chairman Gensler, your record of failures to protect investors and abuses of power make it clear that we need to restructure the Securities and Exchange Commission. The failures are many, but let me cite some of the abuses. You average more than 2 rules proposals a month. You provide inappropriately short comment periods. You have unworkable and unlawful ESG disclosure mandates on the market. You have essentially a Hotel California rule for crypto where you can check in anytime you like, but you can never leave. You have endless discovery with no resolution and no clarity for the captives in the market. You have unworkable proposals for overhauling equity market structure, a de facto ban on crypto through proposed custody rule. You have high staff turnover, unhappy people leaving your office, and unhappy companies and capital leaving our country. To correct a long series of abuses, I'm introducing legislation that removes the chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission and replaces the role with an executive director that reports to the board where all authority would reside. Former chairs of the SEC will be ineligible under my proposed bill. And this isn't just my take. It resonates across the political spectrum. The American people want democratic access to capital, retail investor participation. You can't just exclude retail investors from markets and claim it's for their own good. Our markets need to function and flourish, and I yield back.
All right, so that's that. Now I'm going to show you two amazing finales, okay? Two like serious finales. The first one is, I have to find this one. Here we go. Okay. Mr. Donald.
A CFO in a campaign, right?
Now remember that Gary Gensler was the CFO in Hillary Clinton's campaign.
Last question. I think it might have came up. You were Hillary Clinton's CFO in a campaign, right?
It's part of my history.
Were you? Yes or no?
In 2016.
Did you facilitate the payment for the Steele dossier since you were CFO of the Hillary Clinton campaign?
Sir.
Yes or no?
Sir.
Yes or no?
That was...
Ouch!
That was not...
You're under oath, Chairman Gensler. Yes or no?
I know. It was not something I was aware of.
I yield back the rest of my time. Thank you.
All right, now, I mean, that was good. But there was one which I think topped it. And that was someone who, the hero we deserve. This is the Senator Emma. I want to actually go through a couple of his so he starts off.
Now for the digital asset industry to access financial products and services in the United States than it was, say, 2 years ago.
Sir, I'm not running one of those businesses. If they came into compliance, I think
Reclaiming my time. The answer, sir, is yes. Do you think you and the SEC have had a role to play in that?
I think we have a role to protect the American investor and the capital markets and the...
Reclaiming my time, sir. You have played an obvious role in that.
So that was the first part. Then
tenure at the SEC, how many rules has the SEC finalized that actually accommodate the existing regulatory framework and are specifically to the digital asset industry so the crypto market can come into compliance?
It's their rule books that are on the books for years, so we have not finalized any new rule specifically with regard to crypto. We've proposed some things in best execution. We've also...
Sir, reclaiming my time, the answer is 0. And how many enforcement actions has the SEC levied against digital asset companies during your tenure, sir?
I think it's probably 40 or 50.
The answer, sir, is about 55. During your tenure...
Okay, so that's the next part. Next part, listen to this. He wasn't having
My
any
understanding is that the biggest crypto failure in history is probably FTX at $9 billion. Were you the chairman of the SEC when FTX collapsed?
Yes.
And how many times did you meet with FTX prior to their collapse?
I think my public record shows 2.
You met it with FTX at least twice. And arguably, the second biggest crypto failure in history was Terra Luna. Who was the chairman of the SEC when Terra Luna collapsed, sir?
We had brought...
You were, sir, reclaiming my time. You were. There are 5 members on the commission. Do you believe your speeches and interviews are to serve as the official position of the SEC?
I can only speak for myself when I'm speaking.
Again, sir, in a statement on the SEC website, you are quoted saying, the Kraken staking as a service enforcement action should make clear to the marketplace that staking as a service providers must register. But again, you haven't provided any rules for how that can be done. I must remind you, your public statements are not regulations. It's not responsible to expect the American people to assume your statements are a substitute for rules. My time.
All right, one or two more. We're going to kick him while he's down.
It's not responsible to expect the American people to assume your statements are a substitute for rules. Do you agree with this statement regarding the digital asset industry? The SEC needs additional congressional authorities to prevent transactions, products, and platforms from falling between the regulatory cracks.
I think that it's a largely non-compliant field.
Sir, again, I asked you to comply with my questions, and I'm asking you if you agree with that quote. And I'm going to tell you, I'm quoting you from an August 3rd, 2021 article where you, and I believe you told Congressman Hill earlier that you need congressional authority to regulate stablecoins, and stablecoins happen to be a significant percentage of the crypto market. So the question is,
okay, now lastly, this is probably very important. This is actually a little bit more
does
serious.
it concern you, by the way, that your approach to the digital asset industry is actually driving this industry out of the United States?
We're trying to drive it to compliance, and if they're not complying with the laws, then they shouldn't be offering their products.
Reclaiming my
to
time.
investors.
Madam Chair, I would like to enter into the record this Wall Street Journal article from April 14th, 2023, detailing China's ploy to open its banking system to crypto firms in an effort to seize an opportunity created by our hostile regulatory environment, which, Mr. Chair, you're a big part of.
Without
Look,
objection.
Chair Gensler, FTX was domiciled abroad and so is Binance, yet American consumers still had access to both. You can't really think that pushing this industry abroad is going to protect American consumers when it hasn't several times in the past on your watch. You say the crypto market is rife with non-compliance. However, existing SEC rules make no sense for blockchain-based companies, and following them would actually kill these businesses. Your regulatory style lacks flexibility and nuance, and as a result, you've been an incompetent cop on the beat, doing nothing to protect everyday Americans and pushing American firms into the hands of the CCP. Your intention to work against SEC mission and put American investors in harm's way has been made very apparent, sir. It's been a year and a half since you've appeared before this committee. You need to answer to Congress about the issues that you've had with the SEC staff union, the work environment you've cultivated at the SEC that's led to hemorrhaging of senior staff, the intellectual inconsistency of your regulatory treatment towards Bitcoin spot ETFs, and your politicization of capital formation opportunities
time
through your
has
treatment
expired.
of certain SPACs. And that's just to name a few. Thank you.
I yield back my time. Okay, so I'm going to yield back my time now. And I think that he was right. I think that the important thing there is that it's clear now, even to Congress, that Gary Gensler is actually pushing blockchain out of the US. That's what's happening here. And I think one of the things that the US can't afford is blockchain being moved out of the US. And that's one of the key takeaways from a report that A16Z did about crypto. The report was an amazing report. I read the whole report, but there are a couple of things that you need to take out of this report, which are quite relevant. The first thing, and we'll talk about the alpha in a second, but the first thing is, if you look at the US losing its lead in Web3, this is the percentage of crypto developers, of the Web3 developers, which are actually in the United States. And what you can see is that the percentage is decreasing in the United States. So it means that the US is losing its competitive power in the United States when it comes to Web3. There were a couple of other things. So the first thing is, we can see that blockchain is growing. These are the developers that are coming into blockchain. Like you can see here, in the bull markets, the developers come in, and then in the bear markets, it kind of plateaus, and these people become the new base. Now we have another bull market, we go up again. Now we had a little bit of a drop. Now we're getting a little bit of a plateau. And so the base of developers, though, the base of people in Web3 is actually increasing quite a lot, which is, it just reaffirms that this industry is exploding. The other thing is that they're saying that DeFi and NFT usage, even though they were speculative, right now they're coming into becoming a real industry. So net, a very, very positive report. But the one negative here is that the US is actually losing a stronghold. And this is data that can be used to back up what the senators were saying. We do have earnings. It is earnings season on the macro front. There could be volatility. Yesterday we saw Netflix going up and down. I think it went down 15% and then it went back up. Today we got Tesla and then we got the earnings call. So there's always volatility when it comes to the earnings call. So keep an eye out for macro. Although I don't know how much of an effect macro is going to have in the market right now. I see that Bitcoin, as I said, is starting to climb back right now because it was just a flush out of leverage. We're back at 29,500, exactly what I thought. I just flush out of leverage. I took one of our researchers a bet this morning and I said, I bet you Bitcoin will be back at 30,000 in 24 hours. Let's see if I'm right. If you feel like watching something. So I watched this interview by Blockworks. It's under the Empire category. Now, it's the first interview that 𝗕𝗏 and Kyle have done from Multicoin Capital after FTX. Couple of things that I took out of here. The first thing is that they still have a lot of conviction around Solana.
This episode
And they believe that Solana is a much better bet than Ethereum and Ethereum layer 2s. And they get quite technical as to why that's the case, but it's worth listening to. The other thing is, after watching this, I actually went out and bought some Filecoin. So I got to be honest, I bought some Filecoin. And I think if you watch it, when you watch it, you may do the same. So go and watch it. It's called ETH layer 2s won't scale. They believe that ETH layer 2s won't scale, and they explain why. Also, a couple of altcoins. So what we can see is we can see trends in altcoins. AVAX, the daily active users up 67%. Aptos, daily active users up 66%. And Optimism, even though right now it's Arbitrum season, in the background, Optimism users are going up. Now, AVAX is the important one. Why is AVAX the important one? Because we do have the AVAX Summit coming up in May 3rd to May 5th in Barcelona. In fact, maybe I should go to this. I like Barcelona. I love Barcelona. Maybe I'll go to this. I'll actually phone Emin and maybe I'll go to the Avedon Summit and bring you guys some live coverage. Anyway, remember that price usually goes up before these summits and then usually crashes after these summits. So just keep an eye on that. FTX, FTT token, there's a Kraken investor called Tribe Capital. They want to use 250 million to restart the exchange. That's why the FTT token went up. I would stay away from the FTT token. I wouldn't be buying it. I am looking at MUX, MUX. It's a derivatives exchange or an exchange that a derivatives play on Arbitrum. We are looking at that one. Okay, now, lastly, and most importantly, remember I told you we're going to bring you a trading competition. A trading competition like no other. We're bringing it. It's done. So here's the deal. Okay, I'm so excited to bring this to you. The competition starts next week, Wednesday. Here it is. The first prize, it's on Bybit. There is a link below if you want to sign up. In order to sign up, you need to put in $250 into your derivatives account. That's how the sign up bonus. I'm going to be funding 100 accounts. So if you sign up, I'm going to be funding 100 accounts. So you need to sign up, put in $250 every day. I'm going to draw a couple of accounts and I'm going to be personally funding 100 accounts to play in the competition. The first prize is a Tesla or $40,000. So you can choose. If you win the Tesla, you either get the Tesla or you get $40,000. And if a Tesla is not available in your country, you get the $40,000. The second prize is a Rolex Submariner or $20,000. You can decide. And the third prize is $10,000 in cash. Plus we have about $50,000 in random prizes that we're going to be giving away. The link is here below. Let me show you because I know a lot of you don't understand how these things work. I see George is also streamed market dump. Stole it from us. Stolen. Okay, so let me show you. So you can see here, there's the link. You click on this and that's how you register for the competition. Only people who have a Bybit account through Crypto Banter. And it doesn't matter if it's Crypto Banter School, Crypto Banter, any Crypto Banter account, Miles's link, my link, Hustle's link, Sheldon's link. Only people that have Crypto Banter links can sign up to this competition. And those that are signing up via Gareth's links, because Gareth's community is also joining us for this competition. It's going to be super fun. It's going to be our community and Gareth's community. We're not competing as communities against one another. It's just, we're going to have a lot of fun. So listen, I want to see you guys signing up. I'm going to sign up. We'll make a rule this time. Banter people only allowed to have 2 accounts. One for long-term and one for a scalp trading strategy. But anyway, so it's done. We're starting next Wednesday. You can register anytime between now and the end. I see 8 of you have already registered. Well done, well done, well done. The highest P&L actually wins. You win a Tesla. Second prize, you win a Rolex. Third prize, you win $10,000 in cash. Plus, I'm funding 100 accounts. So if your accounts in fact, tomorrow I'm not doing a show because I'm flying, but from Friday, when we have a huge Friday Banter, James, show them who's on Friday Banter because it's back by popular demand. You guys wanted Meltem, you got Meltem, you got Raul Paul, you got Dan Tapiero. So yeah, it's going to be amazing. We're back. The competition's back. I'm going to kick ass this competition. I'm going to kick ass. All right, listen, love you guys madly. I won't see you tomorrow because I'm on an airplane, but I will see you again on Friday for Banter. So until then, trade well, my friends.